How many visitors do you actually need to start making money? Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur, and like I just said, how many visitors do you need on your website to start making money? Right? This is a question I get all the time, and people are always curious to know, how many visitors do I actually need to make money on my website? That's a huge question, and a lot of people are building websites, and honestly, some of them are doing great, and some of them aren't doing so great. So I want to break down, I built a cool little spreadsheet. It took me a couple hours to build and really dialed it in. I wanted to paint a picture for people so that way they can really see, hey, how much money could I make? How much money is there really to make? And ultimately, what does it look like if I was to follow a good SEO strategy and implement a good email capture and sell an online course or sell a product? I think that I'm using the word online course here specifically because I know that a lot of people use Kajabi. However, there's plenty of ways that you can say, hey, I'm going to do an online, maybe sell e-commerce stuff or sell physical goods, or maybe it is selling a course. Whatever it is for your situation, whatever you sell, this is a great template, right? Now, are the numbers perfect? No, I'd be lying to say that they're perfect, but this is going to give you a phenomenal idea on if you actively do SEO and you are actively trying to grow your community and grow your entire website presence, and you are capturing email addresses and you are converting those people over with a solid funnel. I mean, this is going to work. This is going to drive you to the best or most accurate number out there. So I want to share it with you guys. This is going to be a shorter video, but I think it's really cool. I'm also going to leave a link down below so you can actually go make a copy of this and play around with it for yourself, right? This is just something I happen to make because I had a question. Somebody was like, hey, how much traffic do I actually need to make money? So I try to use realistic numbers, and I'm going to share it over here with you guys. But you have 24 months, right? I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with Income School. Income School talks about 24 months and how much money you can make. Now, this doesn't include ad money. This is purely for the fact of selling a product. There's no ads, there's no additional income, there's no Amazon affiliates, there's no nothing like that, right? And you're going to have, your first month is going to be 1. It has to be 1 because that's just your first month. Now, I set your first month at 100, right? This is something that also people need to take into consideration. If you change this to 1,000, everything changes. But I set it at 100 because most people are probably getting about 100 clicks per month. And if you really think about it, that's just about 3.5 clicks per day. Pretty reasonable and easy to do. If you're not getting 3 clicks per day, you could change this to 1 or 10 clicks per month, and you'll be able to see, right? At the end of 2 years, you should be able to make about $12,000. So I'm going to set it to 100 just because that's a pretty reasonable number, and I think a lot of people are at 100 visitors per month. And this is a monthly scale. This is not a daily scale. Now, I've included several different areas. So your website growth rate, it's 1.30, right? That represents 30%. So you should be able to grow, if you're actively doing SEO, about 30% per month. Now, is that going to be variable for a huge amount of businesses? Of course it is. It might be 10%, it might be 50%, it might be 75%. Heck, some people might be 200% if you're just cranking through content. All right, and then you have your email signups. So I left it at 10%. I think that's a pretty reasonable number for most people to capture, which is 10% of email captures. And what the cool part about this is once you go download it, you can actually go in and test this yourself so you can see how does it work for your individual scenario. Now, I've also included the purchase rate. So that means when somebody gives you an email address, to the likelihood of them purchasing. So in this case, I did a 1% conversion rate, but I will show you a 1, a 2, a 5% conversion rate, right? Number of purchases. So keep this is why I say it's not 100% accurate, right? If you're getting 10 signups, you get 100 visitors, 10 signups, which could very well happen. You're probably not going to get an actual sign up in here, which would probably crush about $300 to $400 worth of finances out of it, which really isn't that big of a deal, but this is a long-term game. SEO is a long-term game. Now, you could use this exact same or a similar spreadsheet for your Facebook ads, for your Google ads. You can see how many, it'll give you a lot of this, but you can definitely see the numbers. And then I did a $197 course price, right? Now, this could be anything that you're selling. Once again, it could be maybe it's ceramic mugs, maybe it is courses, maybe it is digital products. It doesn't have to necessarily be a course, but maybe it's LUT filters for your camera. I mean, there's a million things that could be out there. And then your total each month. So the general idea of this is you're going to be building traffic, right? You're going to keep about a 10% email growth every single month after month, right? So the interesting part is you'll have about this many emails added on, right? You're going to get 41,000 visitors per month. In theory, you should have about 4,100 people giving you your email address. But the cool part is this adds up based on the number previously. So if you get 10 email signups the first month, you should probably get 13 email signups the second month, which would bring your total to 23, right? That's the best part about it. Then you have the number of purchasers, right? This number is kind of kind of sits there with, it's F3 minus times G3, so it's going to be this number times this number, right? So at a 23, you're going to have a 10% sign-up rate. That's where you get that 0.23. And then once again, $197 course. And the cool part is, I mean, you could do this as $1,000, right? If you do it $1,000, that's the numbers you're looking at. But I want to paint a realistic picture because I think if you get 100 people to your website, right, at a 10% email sign up, and that might be a little high for you, right? Maybe it's a 1% email sign up, right? And I think that a lot of people, this is the kind of the joy of being able to do this. You really get to see the whole picture of it as opposed to just one particular area. And you can go through and then your purchase rate, right? Maybe it's not 1%, maybe it's 2%, right? I mean, for every single person, it's going to be a little different. And then your course price at $100 per course. So I tried to use more generic numbers. I started to look at all of the sites that we manage in my agency, and typically we see about a 30% growth in traffic month after month. Some are a bit higher. Some I've seen as high as 60% growth each month, and I've seen some a little bit lower at about 10%. But the cool part is you can go through here and you could just say, hey, I need to figure out what this number is, right? So maybe it's 10% for you, right? You have a 1% sign-up rate. So, I mean, even if you grow 10% each month, you have a 1% sign-up rate, and you can convert people at a 2% rate selling a $100 course. At the end of 24 months, you're probably going to make about $1,700. And you might be thinking, well, Harrison, that's ridiculous. That's not enough money for me to grow my business. And I would thoroughly agree with you. But if we use generic numbers here, and I think 30% is a very reasonable and attainable number. Now, once again, there's massive sides to both, right? And you could take it and you can make it 30%, right? If you could, even let's just say you're not doing the best with your email signups, 10% might be a little bit high. Maybe let's do a 3% conversion rate on your email signups, right? But maybe your copy is pretty good in your emails, right? So maybe you're getting a 2% conversion rate, and maybe your course, I don't know, let's say your course is $297. I think that's a pretty reasonable number for an online course, depending on what you're teaching. At the end of 2 years, you should make about $106,000 with your last month being about $32,000. Now, you're going to see that this isn't that exciting, and chances are pretty good you're not going to be getting 100 visits right off the bat, but when you're watching this video, assuming that you have a website going, you should probably be at about the 100 website visitors per month, which I think, and I really do believe that is a purely attainable number. So give or take a little bit of money, but I mean, this is the best part about it. And then you'll also be able to see your overall signups. You should have about 5,400 people on your email list. Now you might be thinking, well, that's not a lot of people, right? But if 2% of those people convert every single month, right? That's $32,000. That's the coolest part about it. Now you might be thinking, Harrison, well, I don't sell a $297 course. I sell a $67 course, right? But maybe all your numbers line up the same, right? You're still going to make $24,000 at the end of this. That's the coolest part about it, is it's not going to give you the secret sauce. It's not going to give you the recipe, but what it is going to do is it's going to give you the way to figure out your income and month after month and year after year, right? And that's the most beautiful part about it. I don't think you can go through, download this if you want to stretch it out to 36 months or 72 months or 60 months. I encourage you to do that. And let's just say you have the worst numbers of all, right? Maybe you have a 0.2% growth rate, right? 20% growth rate, I think is like probably on the lower side if you're creating content here. You have a 1% sign up rate, right? Your purchase rate is 1%, right? And maybe you sell your course for $197. I think that's a pretty fair number. Even at the end of 2 years, you're still going to make about $4,000. Now, if you use a platform called Kajabi, right, that's going to run you about $200 a month. All right, $200 a month times 24 months, you're looking at about $4,800. So in theory, yes, you would lose money on this. However, here's the thing that I think a lot of people pass by, right? Yes, you are going to break even at some point or another. But the crazy part is maybe you need to charge more money for your course, or if you're doing the absolute worst numbers, right? I think 1% is probably the bottom of the barrel as far as getting email signups. And there's a million ways to get email signups. Look how I've made already several videos about it. But I think the coolest part is, like, if you could get, let's just say you can bump that up to a 3% conversion rate, right? You now go to $11,000. That's the coolest part about it, right? And you can keep tweaking these numbers to make them better, right? So maybe your next month you're going to be at a 25% growth rate, right? And you get a 3% email signups, right? And your purchase rate still is 1%. At the end of 2 years, you should make about $19,000 selling a $197 course. Now, once again, I understand that not everybody's going to do that. I typically will sell a $97 course, but at the end of 2 years, I could realistically expect to make about $9,600. Now, keep in mind, this does not include your affiliate income. This does not include any other products you sell. This is purely just the main product you're going to be selling, or the average customer value. I think that this is where a lot of people might look at this and get mistaken and say, well, I don't have that many people, or whatever it is. 100 website visitors at a 25% growth rate month after month is really not that difficult, and it does start to snowball. There becomes an exponential point where it just kind of ramps all the way up. So that's why I use 25% across the entire board, because going from 13,000 visitors a month to 16,000 visitors a month is not that difficult, right? And going from 100 visitors to 125 visitors, right, to maybe 1,000 visitors per month, to get to 1,500 visitors per month, if you're making content month after month and week after week, you are going to hit those numbers, right? Maybe you're, I don't know, let's just say some freak show where you're getting 50% growth every single month, no questions asked. I mean, even at the worst numbers possible, right? You get a 1% conversion rate, you get a 1% sign up rate, and you sell a course for $97, but you have crazy growth on your website, right? You're still looking at $65,000. That is the coolest part. So it's just a tool. It's a tool for you to use. It's a tool for you to play around with. Is it going to make you money? Yes, because this can actually foreshadow what you're going to be doing. And the best part about SEO is it's predictable. I'm going to be making a video on why you need to be careful with Facebook ads, because I just saw somebody who was like, hey, Facebook banned my ads account permanently. I mean, I paused because that's mind-blowing, right? He didn't do anything else. So his business went from $32,000 a month, or maybe it's $100,000 a month, to zero, because he never did any SEO. And this is why SEO is so critically important, because the likelihood of Google dropping you like a hot potato is almost zero, right? Unless you do some sketchy stuff, Google's probably never going to tank your content, right? And even if they do, it might tank one page. They won't tank all of your pages. So keep that in mind. So go check out this tool. I will leave a link down below to it. I think it is pretty cool as far as what you can do on here, and give it a test. Let me see what numbers you're doing. If you are like, hey man, I'm growing at a 40% rate, put it on Instagram. Tag me in it, Harrison_Barron. I would love to see it. I think it's really, really cool. But I figure I'd make a really cool tool for you guys, and you guys can have predictable income month after month and year after year. And look, it's not a fast track to success, but if I said, hey, in 2 years, if you sell a digital product, you can make $32,000 a month and have it grow consistently, like who wouldn't do that? Right? And Kajabi is a great platform to do that on. It's the all-in-one platform, and you'll check out my last video. But there you go. If you want 14-day free trial on Kajabi, go check it out. If you are an expert in something and you want to sell that, I mean, go for it. That's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Once again, 14 days down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Leave a comment if you have questions, comments, concerns. If you think my numbers are like way off, let me know. I think my numbers are really based on, I looked at about 10 or 15 different websites. My numbers are pretty much spot on with those guesses. You're not going to have, a 200% increase month after month. That's not going to happen. Your email signatures are probably going to vary between 1% and 10%. If they're not even hitting 1%, you have a massive, massive problem in converting your emails. You need to figure out either better lead magnets and then your purchase rate. That can all be fixed with just a couple little, twists and turns and manipulation there. And when I say manipulation, A/B testing and such. And then your course product. I mean, how much are you going to sell it for? Right? That's the coolest part about it. I've laid it out for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys find value in this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.